And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Saturday morning edition of New Distributor Training. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International, and I get to be the host this morning, the guest trainer. So I'm pretty excited about that. I hope you're excited about that. Got a lot of things we're going to do today. Want to welcome all of you. In particular, I want to welcome those of you that are relatively new distributors, brand new distributors. For some of you, this may be your first Saturday morning new distributor training. I'm excited to have you here, and I want to kind of give you a couple of tools, and this actually applies for anybody that's been involved with our company for some period of time, who is starting to sense the momentum that's building as we're in our transitional stages from, ZJ independent distributors and the merger that's taking place with Isogenics out of Phoenix. Giant company, incredible opportunity for all of us to be engaged with the quality and the substance that's available through Isogenics. It's truly a dream partnership. And so I, for one, am recognizing that we're about to go through another wave. I've been fortunate enough to be with ZJ now, I guess it's like 12 years or maybe a little bit more than that. I participated in, both of the significant growth curves in ZJ. At times when, literally, we could teach a rock how to make money with our business. And when you get involved in a company or any profession or, sports, whatever, when you find yourself in a position where you're in the beginning stages of momentum, it really does make things much easier than it's like, going with the flow as opposed to trying to swim upstream. And we're about to go through the greatest growth curve, stage in momentum in ZJ history. And so I encourage you right now to make some decisions, get well-founded, well-grounded in the basics. And so I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes ZJ. My name, Fred Holmes. It's in the corner of my screen there, right? Let's see if I can get it right there. Fred Holmes ZJ, all put together. And when you get there, you're going to see all the archived presentations that we're responsible for. The Biz Talks presentations on Thursday, Saturday morning distributor trainings. You'll see a playlist tab. On the playlist tab, that's where you're going to find what I want all of you to take in. Okay, new distributor training. And, don't worry about the quality of the videos, okay? It wasn't done for production quality. It was done for content and for information. And you will find a series of little videos there. The first one is called New Distributor Training. That's the foundational element. If you can incorporate that, if you can internalize those concepts, you will have every single thing you need to be successful in network marketing. Because that particular video, 30 minutes long, it actually is exactly what everybody wants to know. What it is we do and how do we do it. If you are the person that is willing to take responsibility for your future, okay, to create the financial security that you and your family deserve, not dependent upon somebody else, not dependent upon the government, not dependent upon family, friends, what have you, the charity of strangers. If you are ready to be responsible for your future, everything you need to know about being successful in our type of business, home-based business, network marketing arena, is in that 30-minute video. It's what we do and how we do it. Now, you'll find 3 additional little videos in there. That's what I would essentially call maybe the fast start training. You'll learn about how to create a prospect list so you can have people to talk to, because that's all we do, okay? The only thing that we do that makes any difference at all is we talk to people. We share our products, we share our opportunity, and then if you really want to become successful, teach other people how to do that too. You're going to need to have people to talk to. So how to create a prospect list. That's one of those videos. There's a a 10-minute video on 90-day game plan, okay, which is what I'm going to address a little bit today, or specifically today. And then there's another 10-minute video on how to create your story. The greatest tool you'll ever have in your business is not your social media, your LinkedIn profile or what have you. It's going to be your story, okay? Because people join us. They don't join the company. They don't join, they don't join the product. They join us, and they want to work with people who can lead them. This is one of the great, mysteries of life, is why people don't choose to lead, that they would prefer to follow, because anybody can lead. Okay, anybody can lead. If you've got one person that you can work with, then you can become that leader. And it's not about being, the big dog. It's about serving many. So anyway, so a little preliminary things. I encourage you to get that, especially brand new people, because if you came here today to learn everything there is to know about building the business, we're going to be talking about a small component of that is very critical at this point in time in the development of our company, and what's about to happen with our merger. So the title of today's training, and if you were, if you follow me on Facebook, you saw the posting on that late last night. If you're on my email list, which anybody can join my email list. I call it the team email list. It's anybody can join. You can get added to the email list by simply going to my personal website. It's fredholmes.com. Click on contact, and you'll, as you scroll down, you'll see a place there where you can subscribe to the newsletter. I think that's what the words are: subscribe to the newsletter, and just sign up. You can get the periodical email announcements about what's about broadcasts and what's happening. So I encourage you to do that. Anyway, the announcement was surrounding today's topic, a 90-day game plan, and I want to give you 3 specific steps that are going to prepare you for what's about to happen. Forgive me, I've been doing a lot of talking this week. I am also getting set up for what's about to happen. And just because I'm sure inquiring minds want to know, you want to have a good time? My new favorite product, okay, the E-Shot from Isogenics, a cocktail of Super Mix and Limitless. You put Limitless and the E Plus together, that's a party. So anyway, I'm going to have a good time today. I hope you guys are too. All right, now, I want to give you, and a lot of you know that so much of what happens on Saturday morning training when I'm the trainer really comes out of conversations that I had with members of the team, some brand new people, some field leaders. I consult with a lot of leaders because I want to know what they're doing. All right. I'm never going to be that guy that says I know everything, because you know everything, then you can't grow. But a lot of what I want to talk about today came out of conversations I've had with, I'm trying to find a better term, my yard boy, a young man that comes on Saturdays and works in the yard. He's been locked out of school in many places. All the schools are shut down. He has a gym membership. He's a wrestler guy, right? And he's been shut out of his gym and really concerned about not being able to stay building up muscle during the off season, what have you. I'm very fortunate. I belong to a private gym. And so they don't close private gyms. That's why they call them private gyms. And in my gym, there's probably, I started thinking about it, I'll bet you there's probably not more than maybe 30 members of the gym. And membership to the gym, what that really means is that you have 1 hour, typically 3 days a week, 1 hour that you're allowed to come to the gym to work out with the owner of the gym. The owner of the gym is a professional trainer. And I've been around such a long time, and I've helped over the years in the development of that business. I've had keys to the gym forever, right? And so I come and go as I please anyway. And most of the time, typically 2 days out of 3, there's nobody there. There's nobody there, which which I'll talk about in a moment in terms of one of the characteristics of success. Um, and I have no idea what goes on the rest of the time, but my typical time frame is usually about 3 to 5 in the afternoon is when I'm in the gym. It takes a half hour to get to and fro from the gym each way. So it's a 3-hour allocation of my time, 3 days a week. And Wednesdays and Fridays, there's never anybody there. And so I reached out to my trainer, the owner of the gym. I said, hey, any problem bringing Connor with me? He said, no, absolutely not. So, Connor just is, he's loving life because now he gets to work out in a private gym, and we're having a good time. But we talk a lot on the route to and fro. And we were talking about this concept of doing something significant. See, honestly, folks, the masses, the 80%ers, they're going to do what they're going to do. Okay. And, and that there's nothing wrong with that. You can be incredibly successful as an 80%er, so long as you find something you're passionate about. But here's what most people don't get. The difference, and I'll use some numbers, okay? 80% of our country, United States, 80% of our country lives off of $60,000 a year or less. That's the 80%ers. They make a living, show up for work, they do the deal. They really don't have the ability to control their life. Now, the 20%ers, the people that the top 20% that live off of, 60,000 a year or more, okay, those are the people that are starting to control their future. And the difference between the 80%ers and the 20%ers is only about, a handful of small things. It doesn't take much to move from the 80% to the 20%. But what's more exciting than that, and it really is just a choice, okay? It's just a decision, a choice that you make. And it's sad to me because I've never met anybody that for the most part, not everybody, but most people I've ever met have desires for, an above average lifestyle, an above average income, drive an above average car, live in an above average home, go, on above average vacations, okay? And what people don't recognize is that all of that is within every single person's reach, so long as they understand one simple thing. You gotta be above average. Now, what's really cool is it doesn't take that much to be above average, all right? Simple little disciplines exercised on a daily basis. In your notes, hope you have your journal with you. In your notes, I want you to write these 3 things down because this is what we're going to talk about today. Okay, the 90-day game plan. Okay, 3 steps, real simple. Number 1, set a goal. Now, simply setting a goal immediately separates you from the 80%ers. Immediately. You instantly move into the top 20%. Why? Because the 80%ers never set a goal. It's such a simple thing. I don't get it sometimes. I mean, I do get it, all right? I was explaining to young Connor, growing up, I incorporated every single thing that my mother taught me. My single parent, I was raised by my mom. Many of you know the story. She taught me everything she knew. Okay, I learned good work ethics. I learned the primary fundamental characteristics of success. Honesty, that's doing the right thing, right? Integrity, that's doing the right thing even when nobody notices. Authenticity, being who you are, not somebody else. Those foundational elements have shaped my life. I could be nothing without those things. My mother taught me the value of hard work growing up. Mom had this back in the 50s, right? Because I'm older than dirt. Back in the 50s when, we didn't have all these social safety nets and all that garbage that's out there. She had to take responsibility. She had 2 children and nobody else to help. So she had a full-time job, a part-time job, and a part-time job. Okay, today we call them side hustles, right? She had to do all that because nobody else was going to take care of her business. Her business was raising the kids. So I learned good work ethics. I learned the concept of you show up for work no matter what. Okay, feeling bad, bad day, the car broke down, whatever, you still show up because you don't get paid if you don't show up. And so she taught me all those things, every single thing that she knew. Okay, you pay your bills, you don't cheat on your taxes, all the things that she knew, she taught me. What she couldn't teach me is what she didn't know. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s and 40s, got involved in network marketing, started to learn about, the concepts of creating a future, starting in your mind, how to, develop residual income, how to deal with the challenges of prosperity. A lot of people go, challenges of prosperity? How can that be a challenge? Folks, life is a challenge, okay? When you don't have a lot of money, your problems revolve around not having a lot of money. When you have a lot of money, your challenges revolve around having a lot of money. Okay, it's just, there's always going to be problems. They're just different kinds of problems. Many of us will eventually, hopefully you will have to go through that prosperity challenge. Okay, it's the test of prosperity. When you make a lot of money, you have to decide what's the most important thing. And guess what? It's not the money. All right. The money, that's kind of like a byproduct of doing the right thing. So if you don't have somebody that can teach you the concepts that the 20%ers know, how are you going to learn that stuff? Okay. How do you learn, if you're raised by a single mom, working class folks, where do you learn how to dress like successful people do? I remember some of my very first meetings and trainings in network marketing, I didn't know what I was supposed to learn. So I was taking notes, and a lot of times, and I actually several years ago came across a lot of the spiral bound notebooks that were my journals back in the day. And up in the corners, I was making notes of the type of suit the fellow at the front of the room was wearing, back in the day, double-breasted suits. The more successful you were, the more likely you're wearing a double-breasted suit, the more likely you're wearing French cuffs. What kind of stripes, how wide were the stripes, what were the colors, what was the tie combinations, what did the shoes look like. I had to, by observation, learn how to dress. Now, my boys growing up, they learned how to dress because I could teach them that. But nobody was around me when I was growing up to teach me those kinds of things. Same thing with success principles. If you are raised by working class people and you do your job, learn from your parents, learn from the people that are there to help you. You learn how to be a great worker, makes you a great 80%er. You want to learn how to be highly successful, move into that 20%. You have to be able to learn from people that have done that. And so the first thing that I'm talking about, and it's, again, pretty much anything in life can be boiled down to three things, right? Three things, and that'll cover pretty much anything. Now, in this case, we're talking about how to build your Zija business, how to be prepared for the major momentum growth curve we're going to be going through over the next several months. First step, number one, set goals. Immediately, you've separated yourself from the masses because the masses don't do that. They may think they do, okay? But what they are is either wish lists, okay, or simply plans. Now, what's my goal? I want to go to Hawaii. Okay, great. Sounds like a great vacation. Sign me up. Mike Cranes does the same deal. We love being in the islands, okay? But setting the goal itself, unless you have the other two things. Number two, you got to create a plan, okay? A goal is a dream unless you create a plan. And then number three, and this is the part that will propel you like a rocket from the 80% to the top 20% is you have to execute, do the doing part. So kind of summing things up here before I move on. Folks, most everybody wants to be above average car, above average home, above average lifestyle, above average income, whatever. Okay, above average, you know, family life, relationships. It's real simple. You just got to be above average. And the fact of the matter is, and I'm talking to each one of you right now that is realizing, you know, geez, with the given situation we're dealing with today in today's world, I wish I could be in an environment where I didn't have to leave the home to create my income. I wish I had an environment where money was not an issue to me. Okay, you know, our government's talking about giving everybody $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever. Well, first things first, most people don't need that. Okay, I don't need $1,000. Now I'll tell you what I do need. I need $100,000. Okay, you want to start giving away money? I need $100,000, but $1,000 I don't need. Okay, and don't get me wrong, folks. I am 100% completely aware and sympathetic with the people that work, you know, hourly wage jobs that are dependent upon the paycheck on Friday, and it isn't going to show up. Those people need support. Okay, I just dropped a note to the gal that handles my properties to notify every one of my property managers that no one that lives in one of the properties I own will be evicted, independent of any state requirements or what have you. That's my requirement. Nobody's going to be evicted. We're going to get past this deal, and then we'll talk about, you know, paying, you know, why can I do that? Because I know there's other people I've talked to, they're going, I don't know what I'm going to do. The state said that I can't evict people. Well, first of all, why would you evict somebody who can't pay their rent because they lost their job because the government forced them to stay home? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. Here's the other one. Okay, these are people that are highly mortgaged on their properties. They got to have that coming in. They don't have reserves. All my properties I paid for in cash. See, these are the different things, the differences between, you know, the bottom 80%, the top 20%. And what's most important to understand is it's very simple to move into that top 20%. And to go to the next top 20%, the 20% of the 20%, the top 4 or 5% of earners, it's just as simple. Okay, it's simply a matter of doing a little bit more than you did to go beyond average, and do it a little bit longer. You talk, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, some of our top earners in Zija aren't superstars. Many of them really are. Okay, I'm just saying there's a lot of us that aren't superstars that figured out these tiny little things, and it makes us look like we're superstars. And every single one of you has that capacity. So 90-day game plan, 3 components to get you to the 90-day game plan. Number 1, set some goals. Okay, now those goals can be monetary. That's great. For those of you that have been with us on Saturday mornings consistently over the last several weeks, and I hope you have, and if you haven't, I hope you go back and review those videos. It's all been leading up to today. Okay, the setting the goals starts out with the vision in mind. Okay, you got to get crystal clear about what you want, and it's more important why you want that. Why has always been more important than how. Because if you think about it, how, you know, Fred Holmes, cross-country truck driver, early 30s, could go from making, you know, a living to creating a lifestyle. How would that happen? Honestly, going back then, I had no idea how that was going to happen. I was hoping network marketing would do it. And what has happened has gone so far beyond anything that I could have 35 years ago imagined. How was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, there was no way for me to figure out how that could happen. The why it needed to happen was so huge, not knowing back then, but what I know now, the why was so huge and so intense and so crystal clear in my mind what I wanted, why I wanted success. The success was inevitable. Anything that I've achieved, and I'm not saying I'm the end all, but I've done pretty good. Any success that I could have achieved you know, it pales compared to what I thought. But it's because of how intense, how significant, how big the why is. So a lot of things we've discussed over the last several weeks, last several Saturday mornings, was in preparation for today. And I hope that you've, you know, I know some of you are going, you know, well, Fred, I need to know exactly what to do. A lot of this is kind of esoteric and, you know, fluffy personal development stuff. There was a reason for it, okay? Because that's the important stuff. So set a goal. Now, let's talk about some concrete goals. Here's as close as I can get to the timeline. Isagenix has already made a commitment starting, I believe it's next Saturday, or you know, Monday following, whatever. I think it's the 28th of March. They are going to start allowing Zija distributors to benefit from the Isagenix compensation plan in terms of the crystal bonuses. Okay, these are extra sources of income that you get over and above the money that you're earning for doing the doing part, if you do certain steps in the compensation plan in a specified period of time. And forgive me, I haven't mastered that. I have to keep referring back to, you know, this to make sure that I got them right. So, you know, if I say something wrong, forgive me, you know, take responsibility. Don't say, well, Fred said it only took 30 days or 60 days, or I had 120. Go get the plan out, figure it out for yourself. But, you know, you get to be consultant. You know, a consultant is simply somebody who has two customers, one on their left leg, one on the right leg. That's it. That's a consultant. They give you 30 days to do that, and you get a bonus for it. I think it's $100. The next goal is to become a manager. A manager means you have two people that you've personally enrolled that you help them become customers. So two people that you help them get two customers. That's it. And I think you've got, I don't know, 60 days for that, and you make another $100 or whatever. Go check it out. There's a lot of money in those crystal bonuses. So set a goal. Here's what I know. Starting in about a week, they're going to start giving us the crystal bonus money for us doing, you know, the enrollments and so on. And it's going to be retroactive to February 1. So if you've already done that, you've already got that bonus coming. You know, it'll start, you know, the monies will start kicking in about a week from now. As best as I can tell, they're looking for a complete, you know, 100% transition in merging of the two companies into Isagenix by their celebration time. You know, what we used to call Summit, they call it Celebration, the annual convention, that's in mid-July. So we're looking at about 4 months, okay? April, May, June, half of July, and a week left in March. So three and a half months. You've got 3.5 months to put together the organization that you want to get paid on when they actually, you know, flip the switch, and every Zija distributor is now a Isagenix distributor and able to receive all of those benefits. Okay, so where do you want to be in 90 days? It actually works out really well because it's a 90-day game plan we're talking about. First thing, set the goal. So what is your goal? Whatever it is, be committed to that goal, envision that goal, understand why that goal is important to you. And honestly, it doesn't make any difference what the goal is, so long as it's something that stretches you a little bit. For somebody else, being the executive, that's that top rank where you've got 5, total of 10 consultants, people that you personally enrolled that have 2 customers, 5 on one leg, 5 on the other. That's the top deal, okay? There's one above that called platinum, but that's more about longevity, you know, consistency of earning as opposed to achieving a particular rank. You know, for some of you, 90 days, you have to be shooting for executive, because you're not going to be stretched unless you go for that top position. For others of you, you may be shooting for consultant. Okay, honestly, I think you need to go a little bit more than that, because that's just getting 2 customers. I mean, you know, don't take 90 days to get 2 customers. Okay, that's called the slow train, right? But pick your goal. Okay, put it in writing, commit to it, and then number 2, create the plan of action to get you there. Plan of action, folks, that's your 90-day game plan. The 90-day game plan, and I'm not going to go into the details of the 90-day game plan because that's one of the training videos, one of the 10-minute videos that's in my on my YouTube channel under the playlist. But the 90-day game plan is essentially a 1-day game plan times 90 days, because we do the same thing every 90 days. Now, there's some finer nuances in there that we can talk about if you have questions and answers, or when I break into question time. But essentially, we do the same thing. We share the product, we share the opportunity, we teach others to do the same. The 90-day game plan is simply kind of it's a tool to help us focus on correct activities for a relatively short period of time. It's really hard to focus on a 5-year game plan unless you break it down into 5 one-year game plans. It's very hard to focus on a 1-year game plan unless you break that down into 4 90-day game plans. Okay, it's just the way the brain works. And what I've always focused on is a 90-day game plan, and then break that down into 3 30-day game plans, and break them down into 4 7-day game plans, weekly game plans, and then break that down into 7 one-day game plans. So a 90-day game plan is a 1-day game plan. Every single day, I have the same game plan. I want to share my product with 1 or 2 people. I want to share my opportunity with 1 or 2 people. And I want to teach people that have joined my business how to do the same thing as me. It really is as simple as that. Anybody trying to tell you that it's more complicated than that, and you got to buy my training program, or you got to sign up for this boot camp or what have you, folks, nothing wrong with investing in yourself and more training skill sets and what have you. But I'm telling you, that's as simple as it is. Okay, now, set the goal. What's it going to be? Commit to it. Number 2, create the plan. And then number 3, this is the fun part, okay? Execute the plan. Do the doing. The execution of the plan is what we call DMO, Daily Method of Operation. This is incredibly simple, but most people won't do it. It's the difference between being in the bottom 80%, part of the masses, and being in the top 20%. Okay, and I'll use an analogy going back to young Connor. You can go to the gym. Okay, lots of people go to the gym, but the 80%ers that go to the gym, that's all they do. They go to the gym. They do a few of these, and they do a little bit of that, and they do a little bit of that. They got no plan. They haven't created, they don't have a goal. There isn't some place they're going to. Their goal is to show up, okay? Which, I suppose that's better than not at all. They don't have a plan. When they go to the gym, they don't know what it is they're going to do and how much they're going to do it. And because they don't have a goal, they don't have a plan, they never get to the execute part. They just show up and, do a little of this and a little of this and a little of this, and, and they get what the masses get, a little bit healthier, maybe a little bit more flexibility, lost a few pounds, but they're still the 80%ers. It takes so little to move to the 20%ers. Here's an example using the gym analogy. Okay, when I go into the gym, I know what I'm going to do on Monday, the certain aspects, the different muscle groups I'm going to work on. I know the different muscle groups I'm going to work on Wednesday. I know the muscle groups I'm going to work on Friday. When I go in on Monday, not only do I know the specific muscle groups I'm going to work on, but I know the specific exercises that I'm going to do and how many of those exercises. And because I'm not willing to be in the top 20%, I want to be in the top 20% of 20%. I want to be in that top 4 or 5%. I track what I do. I track my numbers every day. I can look back to the previous Monday, the exercises that I did, what variations of those exercises, how much weight did I start with, what was my warm-up weight, what was my working weight. And it's not that big a deal, but it is I just came across a before and after picture. I look at, there was a picture a number of years back on a Zija Cruises. One of the team members, I couldn't shoot her before she posted the picture. Took of me and one of the other team members. And I look at myself in that picture, which I was probably close to 40 pounds heavier back then. And all I can think of is, oh my God, what was I doing walking around without a shirt on? And I'm not saying I'm body beautiful, okay? But for 65, I look good, okay? Now, what was that all about? That's the difference between, you know, doing what the masses do versus doing what the 20%ers do. Simply having a goal written down, a game plan, 90-day game plan, share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same, and then execute. The executing part is what separates you, okay? It's what allows you to go beyond the top 20% and potentially, and really the only difference is if you do it consistently over a prolonged period of time, then you move to the top 20% of the top 20%. So daily method of operation, and I've done trainings on that before. You should go into my YouTube channel. When you're in the channel itself, to do the search, go DMO or daily method of operation. You'll pull up different trainings where I've talked about this. I'll give you the nickel version because I do want to open up for some questions. Nickel version, okay? Create your plan for the day the night before. Make sure the plan you're creating is worthy of your effort. Okay, so you pick 5 or 6 things that will make a meaningful difference in your business, and those should be revolved around the elements that create success, not just in our business but anything. Okay, we're going to share the product, so your plan should have in there a commitment to talking to 1 new person about your product, or maybe 2 if you really want to get aggressive. We share the opportunity, so your plan for the following day should include talking to 1 person about the opportunity, maybe 2 if you want to be a superstar. Number 3, teaching others to do the same. So you got to include in there, once you have a team going, a contact, reaching out to a distributor, finding out what their needs are, how you can support their efforts. Could be as simple as saying, you should go to Fred Holmes's YouTube channel and watch the first 30-minute new distributor training video, right? That's teaching somebody else how to do the same by simply directing them to information. You don't have to be the trainer. Direct them to the information. What else do we do? Okay, you want to focus on personal development. Okay, that's how you become better than what you are today. I mean, my favorite line, I used to be a truck driver. I can still drive a truck today, but I'm way more than a truck driver today. Okay, that comes from personal development. You need to have that scheduled into your day. Skill sets development, I kind of include those together. Okay, personal development, skill sets development. Now, handful of things. Plan your day the night before. Take a few minutes, write down a couple of those activities. Step 2, schedule them. You know what you're doing tomorrow. Now, right now, you might know what you're doing tomorrow is absolutely nothing. You're social distancing, you're staying in your house. I'm going to give you a couple suggestions on that, by the way, on how to maximize this downtime, if you will. But you already know in the normal scheme of things, you know what time you got to go to work, you know what time you got to wake the kids up, you know what time you got to, whatever it is that your deal is. Within that time frame of required things, feed the kids, go to work, whatever, there will be 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there that you can plug in a phone call, a follow-up, initial contact. Keep yourself plugged in. So you might include in there on a given day, Saturday morning, I'm going to allot, 45 minutes, 60 minutes to hanging out with new distributor training. For those of you that, maybe you work on Saturday morning, then schedule when you're going to watch the video replay. I'd like to tell you it gets posted right after I'm done here. It doesn't always. Depends on what my schedule is. But before the day is out, this will be posted on the YouTube channel. So if you can't make Saturday morning as part of your regular schedule, then pencil out that 60 minutes on Sunday. Make that part of Sunday's everyday routine. Review Saturday morning training. Or maybe you can't see Pat Anderson's, Let's Talk presentation on Wednesday. Well, that's fine. Okay. Make sure that Thursday morning you block out 30 minutes to watch that. Same thing on Biz Talks on Thursday. Can't watch on Thursday? Make sure that, Friday, that becomes part of your daily method of operation. Simply doing these first steps, setting a goal, okay, creating a plan, that in and of itself transitions you above the 80 percenters to the 20 percenters. Adding in this concept of daily method of operation, execute on the plan, establishing what you will do tomorrow the night before, having that already set up, that massively improves your positioning within that top 20%. Here's the real key. If you simply do that long enough, just those simple little things, do that over a prolonged period of time, that's what transitions you not just to the top 20%, but the top 20% of the top 20%, the top 4, 5%. And see, this is why I say it's really simple. Okay, is it easy? Of course it's not easy. It's not easy to maintain consistently day after day after day after day after day. I mean, there's always something that's going to happen. Okay, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Okay, I'm often guilty of saying if it was easy, everybody do it. Everybody want to, drive my car, go on vacation where I go on vacation. Well, the fact of the matter is not everybody's goals are that, not everybody wants to drive the kind of car I drive or go to my kind of vacation. Okay, but you get the concept. If you could have those things that are at that high level of your desire, and if you understood that it's very simple to do that, the hard part is number one, doing it. And the number two, doing it over and over and over and over again long enough. This was the magic what got me involved in network marketing. They told me that it was simple. They didn't say it was going to be easy, but they said if I was willing to follow a simple program for a prolonged period of time, I could have anything I wanted. And I said, sign me up, because there's one thing I guarantee you I'm not afraid of, and that's hard work. So those are my thoughts for today. The key word that you want to have in your notes is consistency. That's the transition from the top 20% to the top 4 or 5%. Little note on something you can be doing right now. This is the greatest time that we've ever experienced to reach out to people that you wouldn't normally have reached out to. Okay, now's the time to pick up the phone and talk to every single person on your memory jogger list and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. How are you doing with the zombie apocalypse? Okay, I call it the zombie apocalypse because I think that's funny, but then I got a really weird sense of humor. Okay, and all due respect to all the people that are challenged and everything, but this too will pass. Okay, this is not the first major crisis we've ever had. It's not going to be the last. That's why this today is so important. The next time something like this happens, and it probably won't be quite as bad as right now, but there's something that's going to happen. There's going to be a recession, or there's going to be, natural disasters or another virus. It's a given. Stuff happens. Here's what you get to decide. Will you be sitting around experiencing, doom and gloom and dread and wondering how you're going to feed your babies and whatever? Or will you be weathering the storm knowing that plenty of food, plenty of money, and because I did really, really well, I belong to a private gym. They can't close it. I own it. Okay. So, all right. Enough of that, folks. Let's do this. Let's take a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, any comments, like me to maybe help focus a little bit more on a particular part of the topic, what have you, you're more than welcome to say, Fred, that was the most incredible training I've ever heard. Now I'm crystal clear on what I need to do. Welcome to say that too. But I'll go ahead and I've got the chat box open here. If you got something that's on your mind, you'd like to share, you'd like to say, other than I kind of appreciate if you wouldn't say something like, what's wrong with your hair? Okay, I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that. Anybody got any comments that were able to be on the Super Saturday, Isogenic Super Saturday? This is your time, folks. And let's see here. What my whistle. Oh, Mary, have I told you you're my favorite? I always surround myself with. It's been one of my my favorite lines. Is I surround myself with a small circle of close friends who are highly protective of me, and they think I'm normal. Well, thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate you saying that. And suggest everyone watch the Super Saturday. Great info. Okay, good. Tell you what. For those of you that did watch the Super Saturday, there's no question in my mind. I know of a couple of the people that were the trainers. There's no question in my mind. It was going to be a great training that all of us could benefit from. When somebody finds the ability to get a link for the replay or whatever, post it on Facebook and tag me, and I'll move it out through my circles. Let's see. You rock, buddy. I'm creating an IPA, income producing asset. Ooh, Mike Crane, I like that. Mike's pretty cool. He's Mr. Business Guy. He's going to create an income producing asset, an IPA. It wasn't lost on me, Mike, that's also a beer, right? It wasn't lost on me. Very good. And I was only half kidding, partially truthful, about telling me what a great job I did. Questions, comments, something that you thought of that could benefit the rest of the people that are here, the people that'll be on the recording. They can't read the chat boxes, but it'll be recorded. Hey, Ernest, that was crystal clear. Oh, good. See, folks, honestly, I'm real impressed with me. And nobody likes listening to me talk more than I do. Okay, that's not the point. What's important is that you get it, that I had something to say that was meaningful to you. Oh, I like Ernest. We got a similar sense of humor. You got to watch out when the two of us get together. He said that was most crystal clear training. Very good. I appreciate that. And then he also said, I like the zombie apocalypse tag. I started out by calling it the Contra virus because I could never remember coronavirus. And I've just kind of migrated to calling it the zombie apocalypse because, I know I'm trying to be a little lighthearted about it because, quite frankly, not everybody, most people are just like devastated by this thing. And that's another thing that I learned, growing up, because the challenges that, my mother had back in the 50s and 60s would, it would just devastate people. And yet I saw Mom just, get up the next morning and go do the deal. Okay. And no matter how terrible it is, and it's terrible when you have a family member affected or passing because of this, that's terrible. But the fear, the dread, the loss of hope, that is way more devastating than the actual ramifications, because most people will never be affected by this bug. Most people that are affected by the bug will survive. Okay, most people, no matter what their station in life is, their occupation, the financial situation they're in, they will recover. Most people will be okay. And what you want to do, and maybe I'll just kind of close on this note, another part of the conversation I had with Young Common. Every single one of us is endowed by our Creator with gifts. Okay, we've all been given gifts. And a lot of times it's hard to see, but they're always going to be there. Okay, growing up, I wasn't, the kid that the cheerleaders wanted to go out with or whatever, but I did have curly hair. See, God gave me a gift. He gave me curly hair, and I didn't get much gifts beyond that, and I've had a lot of challenges, reasons I was a special child, right? But we're all given gifts. Okay, one of my gifts was the ability to learn. okay? Not traditional learning, because that was a challenge for me, okay? Reading was a real challenge for me. But the ability to see other people and discern what they were doing, that was things that I wanted to emulate, okay? You know, the autistic child that you know, has difficulty communicating but has a gift of music. All right, everybody is given gifts, and you know, one of the gifts that I was given, okay, is my ability to make money. Okay, that's a gift in the sense, and it works because the network marketing vehicle is, you know, that's my wheelhouse. Work hard, do the important things, do it long enough, don't quit. Okay, that's network marketing. So what's been, you know, one of the gifts I've been given is the ability to create money. And it is a sin against your creator if you do not, you know, use your gifts. But more importantly, and this is my challenge to each one of you, today, there are a number of people that I am reaching out to because I know they need my help and I can help them. That's because I exercised my gift beyond what I needed. And that's what I'm saying to each one of you. Be that person. Don't create success, financial success, prosperity, sufficient for yourself. Create it in abundance so that you can be that person that helps someone else who is unfortunate at this moment in time, maybe never knew that it was important to set aside some money for a rainy day. Okay, be that person. Exercise your gifts. Be that person that can help others, because that's the way it's supposed to be. It's not our government. It's not dependence upon others. Be dependent upon yourself. And for that small percentage of the population that cannot take care of themselves, be that person in the top percentage of the population, and understand it's your responsibility to take care of those people. Okay, well, I'll get off my soapbox. Hope the actual training portion was beneficial to you this morning. I'll have this reposted here a little bit later on today. Look forward to seeing all of you, you know, Wednesday evening, 9:30 Eastern time. Pat's Let's Talk broadcast. She has a multitude of different topics that she'll speak on. Pat Anderson's link is www.clubmoringa.com. You can access her her broadcast there on Wednesday evening, 9:30. Also posting on her Vimeo channel, Vimeo channel, Vimeo.com. Look for, you know, search for Club Moringa to see all those postings there. Thursday evening, Biz Talks with me. Deb, I see you on there. I put a phone call into you. I want to use your 2-minute story. Let's try and connect. Let me get you scheduled. And then Thursday night with me, 8:30 Eastern time. I'm an hour earlier than Pat's broadcast. Go to fredholmes.com/webinar. That'll access that broadcast, and then the replays will be posted on my YouTube channel. And we'll be back here again Saturday morning, same time, same channel. And have a great rest of your week. Social distancing, okay? I'm not going to kiss anybody today. And be safe. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next week.